Margaret stood at register 4. The card reader blinked red. Declined. Behind her, the line grew. Her pension? Gone. A 10-year-old boy 300 miles away kept clicking buy. This is what he bought. Margaret was 73 years old. She lived alone in a small brick house on a street where every porch light turned off at 9. Her husband had passed years ago. Her only daughter lived 3 states away, working 2 jobs to keep a roof over her own son, a quiet, polite 10-year-old boy named Caleb. Once a year, during summer break, Caleb came to stay with his grandmother for 6 weeks. Margaret looked forward to it the way some people look forward to a wedding. She would scrub the guest room floor on her hands and knees. She would buy the cereal with the cartoon rabbit on the box, even though it cost twice as much as the store brand. She would leave a glass of cold milk on the nightstand every single night, whether he drank it or not. Caleb was a good boy. He said thank you without being reminded. He carried the groceries in from the car. He read library books on the porch while Margaret knitted. And for 2 hours every evening after dinner, Margaret let him play on the old tablet she had bought from a pawn shop for $42. He always played the same game. A game full of blocks and bright colors and friendly little characters. Margaret didn't understand it, but she liked the sound it made. It was the only sound in the house that felt young. One evening, Caleb asked her a question. He asked it quietly, the way he asked for everything. "Grandma, can I save your card on the tablet, so I don't have to ask you every time I need to buy a birthday present for Mom?" Margaret smiled. She thought it was sweet. She typed the 16 digits herself. She didn't know those 16 digits were about to empty every envelope in the kitchen drawer. In that kitchen drawer, Margaret kept 7 white envelopes. Each one was labeled in her careful, slanted handwriting. Rent, electric, water, medicine, food, church, emergency. On the 1st of every month, her pension check arrived. $982. She would sit at the kitchen table, pour a cup of weak coffee, and divide the money into those 7 envelopes the way a surgeon divides tissue. The envelope labeled medicine was the thickest. Margaret took 6 pills a day. 1 for her heart, 2 for her blood, 1 for her bones, 2 for the tremor in her left hand that had started the winter her husband died. The debit card in her wallet was linked to the same account the pension went into. She almost never used it. She paid for groceries in cash, peeled from the food envelope. The card was for emergencies. A burst pipe, a hospital visit, a funeral. Caleb knew none of this. He was 10. To him, a card was a card. It was a small rectangle of plastic that grown-ups tapped on machines to make food and toys appear. He had seen his mother cry over cards before, late at night when she thought he was asleep. He had decided, a long time ago, that he hated cards. But in the game, the card did something different. In the game, the card made his character beautiful. A minute from now, I'll show you the exact in-game item Caleb bought that cost more than Margaret's entire medicine envelope, and why it was designed to make him buy it 3 more times that same night. Inside the game, there was a little storefront. It glowed. It played a cheerful 4-note jingle every time Caleb walked past it. Inside the window, there was a character wearing a set of glittering wings, rainbow wings, the kind that trailed sparkles behind them when the avatar ran. The wings cost 10,000 of the game's currency. On the real-world screen, that translated to roughly $120. Caleb didn't see dollars. He saw a little blue button that said confirm. Because his grandmother's card was saved, the button didn't ask for a password. It didn't ask for a signature. It didn't even pause. It just said, "Thank you for your purchase," and the wings unfolded on his character's back. The first night, Caleb bought the wings. $120. The envelope labeled medicine had just been silently emptied, and Margaret was asleep in the next room, snoring softly, completely unaware that her heart pills for the next 3 months had just turned into pixels. The second night, Caleb's friends in the game told him the wings looked mid without the matching halo. The halo was $200. He bought it. The envelope labeled electric was now empty too. The third night, a random player laughed at his halo and told him it was a noob version. There was a better one, a limited edition halo, available only for the next 48 hours for $450. A countdown timer ticked in the corner of the screen. Caleb's heart pounded. He had never seen a timer like that before. He clicked. The money was gone. So was rent. So was water. So was food. All of it. In 3 nights. $971. A pension that had taken a month to arrive had taken 72 hours to disappear into a character that didn't exist. Caleb closed the tablet. His hands were shaking. He didn't know what he had done. He only knew that the cheerful jingle kept playing in his head, even after he turned the screen off. Wednesday was grocery day. Margaret always went on Wednesday because the store put out the day-old bread at half price on Wednesday mornings. She put on her good cardigan, the green one with the wooden buttons. She took her woven shopping bag. She kissed Caleb on the forehead and told him to finish his cereal. He nodded without looking up. At the store, Margaret moved slowly through the aisles. A loaf of bread, a half-gallon of milk, a small yellow bag of rice, a can of tuna for Caleb's lunch sandwich, a single tomato. She counted each item in her head and knew to the penny that the total would come to $18.41. She was careful. She had always been careful. At the register, the young cashier with a nose ring scanned each item. The total came up, $18.41. Margaret smiled. She reached into her purse, past the cash envelope, she was saving that for the pharmacy trip afterward, and pulled out the debit card. The emergency card, the one she almost never used. She tapped it on the reader. The reader made a sound. Not the cheerful beep, a different sound. A flat, dull buzz. The screen blinked red. Declined. Margaret's smile didn't fall yet. She thought it was a machine error. She tapped the card again. The same dull buzz. The cashier's eyes flicked to the line behind her. There were 4 people now. A woman with a toddler, a man in paint-stained work boots, 2 teenagers whispering. Margaret tapped the card a 3rd time. Red. Declined. "Ma'am, do you have another form of payment?" the cashier said, not unkindly, but in a voice that had been trained to keep the line moving. Margaret felt her left hand begin to tremble. She tried to hold it still with her right. She opened her purse. She looked inside the cash envelope. She knew what was in it. $84, set aside for the pharmacy, for the blood pressure medicine she was supposed to pick up that afternoon. She pulled out a 20. She handed it across. "I'll just take the bread and the milk, please," she said. Her voice was very small. The cashier nodded and began removing items from the bag. The tuna, the tomato, the rice. Each item slid away from Margaret with a soft scrape. The woman with the toddler was watching. The man in the paint boots was looking at his phone, the way people look at phones when they are trying very hard not to look at something else. The cashier handed Margaret her change. Margaret picked up the plastic bag, just the bread and the milk now, and walked toward the sliding doors. She did not cry in the store. She waited until she was in the parking lot. She waited until she was sitting in the driver's seat of her 15-year-old sedan with the door closed and the windows up and the key not yet turned. Then she cried. She cried for about a minute. And then she did something that, looking back, she cannot explain. She did not drive home. She drove to the bank. At the bank, the teller printed out her statement, a single sheet of paper. Margaret held it in her shaking left hand and read it under the fluorescent lights. 3 charges, all of them to the same company. $120, $200, $450. The dates were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The times were all after 11 p.m. Margaret's knees went soft. She sat down on the little carpeted bench by the coin-counting machine. She pulled out her phone, the old flip phone her daughter had bought her, and she called the number on the back of the card. A voice explained, slowly and patiently, that the charges were authorized. They had been made from a device registered to her address. They had been approved with her saved payment method. They could not be reversed. The money was gone. Margaret sat on that bench for 11 minutes. She did not think about the rent. She did not think about the medicine. She thought about the glass of cold milk she had put on the nightstand the night before. She thought about Caleb's quiet, "Thank you." She thought about his small hand typing the 16 digits into the tablet. She drove home. She parked in the driveway. She walked inside. Caleb was on the couch, barefoot, watching cartoons. He looked up and smiled at her. The tablet was face down on the coffee table. Margaret did not raise her voice. She did not cry again. She sat down beside him, and she picked up the tablet, and she turned it over. The game was still open. On the screen, her grandson's avatar stood in a row of other avatars, wearing the rainbow wings and the limited edition halo. A little chat bubble floated above his character's head. One of the other players had just typed 3 words. Margaret read them out loud, very quietly. "Nice drip, kid." Caleb started to cry before his grandmother even finished the sentence. He did not know the word pension. He did not know the word prescription. He did not know that the rainbow wings on his character's back had cost his grandmother 3 months of heart medication. But he knew, from the way she held the tablet, from the slow, careful way her hand shook, that he had done something that could not be undone. Margaret did not punish him. She put the tablet in a drawer and closed it. That night, she called her daughter, and for the first time in many years, she asked for help. Her daughter drove 6 hours through the night to get there. The next morning, the 3 of them, grandmother, mother, son, sat at the kitchen table with the 7 white envelopes spread out between them, and the boy learned, for the first time, what each envelope meant. The rainbow wings are still on Caleb's character. He cannot delete them. They are permanent. Every time he logs into the game now, which is once a week on Saturdays, for exactly 1 hour with his mother sitting next to him, the wings unfold on his back, and he has to see them. His mother says this is not a punishment. She says it is a reminder. She says every child should have to wear, visibly, the cost of the thing they did not understand they were buying. Margaret got her medicine back. The neighbors took up a small collection. The church paid the electric bill for 2 months. She is fine now. But she never saved a card on any device again. And every Wednesday, when she goes to the store, she pays in cash, peeled, 1 bill at a time, from a white envelope labeled in her careful, slanted handwriting. So I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually answer in the comments. Not for the algorithm, for Margaret. If it were your grandmother's card saved on your tablet tonight, would you know how to check what's already been charged? Hey, it's me. If you watched all the way to here, thank you, really. I know this one was heavy. I told it the way I told it because somewhere out there, right now, there is a Margaret, and there is a Caleb, and nobody has had this conversation yet at their kitchen table. If you've got a grandparent, a little cousin, a kid in your life who plays games on a shared device, go check the saved cards today. Not tomorrow, today. And if this story meant something to you, stick around. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of your people.